Hello everyone. Why I choose Nikon and not Canon, Sony, or Fuji? My top reasons why. Coming up next. What's good, guys? This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. Why I choose Nikon over Canon, Sony, or Fuji? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you my top 10 reasons why I shoot with Nikon. This question is asked thousands of times on photography forums. Beginner photographers want to know what the best camera is, what manufacturer they should choose. Should they get a Canon, Fuji, Sony? To be honest with you guys, it really doesn't matter which camera manufacturer you choose for your photography journey. And of course, each manufacturer has its strengths and has their weaknesses. Cameras, features, lenses, colors, you name it. Whether you're an amateur, novice, learning photography, or a professional photographer, you can pretty much get the job done with any of those manufacturers that I've mentioned. However, why do I choose Nikon? Before I get started and listing the reasons why, I want to just tell you guys, I'm not sponsored by Nikon in any way, shape, or form. They're not paying me for this video, or I'm not a Nikon ambassador. I'm not a fanboy of any camera manufacturer just because I own a specific product and I pay thousands of dollars for that product. Doesn't matter. I will call out what I see is wrong, what can be improved on, and if I see another manufacturer doing something better than the camera or lens that I'm using, I'll call it out. You know, I want my manufacturer that I'm using to improve their products. Why not, guys? Why not? So I'm not a fanboy of any manufacturer. I just happen to use Nikon. And here are the 10 reasons why I choose Nikon for my professional photography work. And again, this is how I feel. This is my opinion. You ever heard the saying, different strokes for different folks? You might feel a different way, and that's totally cool. That's totally fine. I'm not saying I'm right, but this is why I choose Nikon. Okay, so here we go. Number one, Nikon lenses. For my work, for my preference, I love Nikon glass. Ever since I started in photography, I own Nikon, with film cameras, the old, vintage lenses from Nikon, manual focus lenses, all the way up to the modern era, the Z lenses. I love Nikon lenses. Their sharpness, I just love their glass and the options that they have. And also, I'm invested in Nikon glass. I've been collecting Nikon glass for a long time now. So, that's one big factor that I don't switch manufacturers for my primary work. So that's number one on my list, the lenses. It's kind of hard to dump everything and start fresh. And I'll go over the reason why a little bit later in this video. I learned a big lesson. And that is why I choose Nikon at this particular time in my photography journey. Number two, overall image quality. I love Nikon's image quality. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just so used to Nikon. I on a daily basis, I know what it can produce. I know its limitations. I know what it excels in. I'm just so used to it. So overall image quality, I prefer Nikon. And again, that's personal preference. Overall, what Nikon produces out of the camera, I enjoy and I like. It's to my liking. Now that being said, do I wish Nikon had skin tones like Canon? Of course I do. Do I wish Nikon had colors like Fujifilm? Oh yeah. But overall image quality, Nikon is it for me for now. Number three, overall ease of use and functionality. Over the years, as time goes on, you get used to something. As human beings, we're creatures of habit. So functionality and ease of use, I'm just so used to the Nikon system, the menus. I know all the layout, the buttons. It's just second nature to me. So when I bought my first mirrorless Z system a couple years ago, transitioning from DSLR to mirrorless was a piece of cake for me. Nikon did a really good job in, not changing a lot with their button layout and functionality, guys. The menu is virtually the same. I love their menu system. And I'm just so used to it. So overall ease of use and functionality for me, That's the third reason why I love Nikon. Number 4, full frame and processor. Yes, mostly all manufacturers these days have full frame, have medium format, crop sensor. However, I prefer full frame. It has to be full frame for me for professional use. Nikon's processor, it does a really good job autofocusing, tracking focus. I'm very pleased what Nikon has done. And every time a new Nikon comes out, they get better and better with their processor. The IQ of the camera just gets so much better with each fresh model. I'm just happy, and full frame is a must for me, guys. If I'm doing any kind of professional work, I have to have full frame. And that's just me. I'm not saying you need full frame to shoot professionally. No, I know tons of people that shoot with Fujifilm. I know a lot of people that shoot professional, making a lot of money using crop sensor cameras. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for me, I prefer full frame. Again, Canon offers full frame. Sony, of course, full frame. They all do. But overall, I'm happy with Nikon. Number 5, performance and speed. Now, I've used Leica in the past. I have a Leica M8. I have some Leica glass. And, using a rangefinder, it's a whole different process. It's a whole different enjoyment. If I'm using Nikon professionally, for example, if I'm shooting sports with Nikon, I can't shoot that with a Leica. You technically can, but it's just not practical. It's not practical. I can shoot a wedding using medium format digital cameras, right? But the speed is not going to be there. The speed is not going to match what a D6 can do, a D850. It's not going to match. Of course, you're going to have better image quality with a full frame camera. However, is the autofocus fast? How's the low light? So speed and accuracy, performance, that's part of the reason why I choose to go with Nikon. They're fast and they're amazing. Number 6, reliability. Reliability is key for me, guys. I want to reach over into my camera bag and grab a camera and expect for that camera to work on command. I don't want to take the chance if I have customers waiting for a photo shoot. It's a hot summer day. I don't want to take the risk of that camera not working. Overheating issues, battery issues, you get a little bit of water, it's raining. I want to be able to perform on any given day, on any given weather condition, in any kind of condition, dust storm, you name it, camera kicked around, bumped around. I want to be able to rely on the equipment that I use. And Nikon has been Mr. Reliable. Again, back to the D800, D4. For me, those two cameras are gold. Those two cameras are gold because they've been Mr. Reliable. Now, new mirrorless cameras, sure, I've had my issues with them. I've had overheating issues with them. I still think, even though the Z6ii is out and the Z7ii is out, I still think mirrorless technology is still in its infancy. I don't think it's quite there yet. Of course, focus has improved. Lenses are coming out, incredible sharpness, edge to edge. However, it's just not there yet. It's not 100%. This is primarily the reason why I'm not switching 100% over to mirrorless just yet, guys. And they might be 100% reliable for you, but as far as the way I feel, the DSLR I can depend on day in and day out. With DSLRs, Nikon DSLRs, and even Canon DSLRs for that matter, they're just reliable pieces of equipment. So mirrorless is getting there. It's not there yet. You want to compare a monster of a camera like a Nikon D6 to the top of the line mirrorless Nikon? You can't. The D6 is a tank. The D6 is a monster. The performance just isn't there yet for mirrorless system, but you know what, I predict it's getting there. It's getting better. I can't wait for the Z9 to come out. I can't dump my DSLRs is because I have a lot of f-mount glass that I love to use. It's not only because I own this glass, it's because I love to use this glass. I love the image it renders. I just bought a 180 millimeter 2.8D lens thanks to a comment couple of comments I received from one of my videos of viewers, I went ahead and I bought that lens, and I just love that lens. Number 7, flashes and TTL performance. I happen to be happy with Nikon's flash system. I like how it reads TTL on the camera. Back in the day, I used to use Canon as well. Canon also does a good job nowadays. However, I feel like Nikon's TTL system is a little better with their flash system. I mean, they're way ahead of the game. I mean, you can't compare Nikon and Canon's TTL system with Sony and Fuji. They got their thing going when it comes to flash technology, so I have to give the nod to Nikon and Canon. So I like Nikon's flash system, and given that I have a lot of Nikon lenses, that's a plus, and that's number 7 for me. Number 8, a wide variety of lenses to choose from. I mean, if you think about it, Nikon's been around for over 100 years, and Nikon has made a lot of lenses, manufactured many lenses. Lenses from the old days, modern lenses, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, AFD, AFS. Their lens selection is through the roof. New, old, 70s, 80s, you name it. I love their lens selection, and that's number 8. Number 9, the history of Nikon. That might not be a big deal to you guys, and that's fine if it isn't. However, I love history. I'm a big history buff when it comes to our past. And like I said, it might not be a big deal for you, and it shouldn't be a big deal, But history ties into reliability, durability. If they had problems that didn't know what they were doing early on, I don't think the longevity of the company would last that long. There's companies that come and go. Many camera manufacturers have gone belly up. Being a fan of photography, I hate to see that. But Nikon's history plays a role in why I shoot Nikon. Not a big role, but it plays a role, and that's why it's number 9. And number 10, the last reason why I choose Nikon to use today, the future of Nikon. The future looks bright. I predict that they'll be doing good things in the future. They're advancing when it comes to video, and hopefully this is the case for Nikon, because I shoot video for my Vahography videos, and I want their video capabilities to improve. Again, do I wish that Nikon's video capabilities, their features were like Sony and Fuji and Canon? Of course. They're not there yet when it comes to video, but every model that they produce, they're always developing, and they're getting there. And hopefully, my fingers crossed, that they take video seriously, guys, because there's a lot of hybrid shooters these days. They're not only doing photography, they want a camera to do video as well. There are a lot, like I said, hybrid shooters. It's really popular these days. The client wants video as well, and there's photographers that do a little bit of video too. So yeah, guys, hopefully Nikon takes videographers seriously and improves their video capabilities on their mirrorless. Now they have serious mirrorless cameras with amazing lenses coming out. So I don't see a reason why they shouldn't beef up their video. Hopefully their future looks good and looks bright, Hopefully, fingers crossed, like I said. I love Nikon and I love their lenses. Okay, so those are my 10 reasons why I choose a Nikon today. Again, I'm not sponsored by Nikon in any way, shape, or form. I'm not selling you a Nikon or anything like that. It might sound like I am. I was listening to myself talk. It sounds like I'm a salesman for Nikon. I'm not. And that being said, I'm going to give you some negatives on Nikon right now. Okay? Do I wish Nikon had better skin tones like Canon? Of course I do. Canon's skin tones, they rock. They rock. I think, Canon does a really good job with skin tones. Another negative about Nikon, do I wish they had better video features like Sony does, kicking butt in the video market, like Canon? Even the Fujifilm X-T4 has amazing video features. Why not Nikon? Come on, Nikon, beef up that video department a little bit. Do I wish Nikon had better rubbers on their lenses? They seem to, get loose, and the glue seems to be wearing off sometimes on heavy usage. Of course, they got to do a better job with that. You know, even the Z6, even the Z6 now, you know, the Z6, you know, I shoot and sometimes my nails on my fingers, you know, they leave a little bit of mark where you're holding the Z6. And, you know, I noticed I haven't even used that camera for photography that much. And I noticed there's some marks on the rubber piece where you grip the camera. You know, I asked the Nikon rep, why are your lenses famous for the rubber coming off and getting loose? And, you know, I don't know if this is true or not, but the rep gave me an excuse like, well, everybody's sweat level is different, or the chemicals in their sweat. Well, I don't know what kind of bogus excuse that was, but most everyone that has a 24 to 70 and that used it heavily like me has this issue. You're telling me everybody has this sweat problem? Their oils in their hands? Come on. You know, why didn't Canon have this issue with their lenses? And also, do I wish Nikon's gear was a little more affordable? I'm talking about the high-end glass. Of course I do. You know, paying $2,500 to $3,000 for a 7200 is a little bit too high, especially when you're just starting out and you want that 7200. Like I said, there are things that I don't approve that Nikon does, or the features, or you know, you name it, you know, the quality. But you know, there's no such thing as a perfect camera, guys. There is no such thing as a perfect camera. We're talking about quality. I love Leica. I love the way they produce their cameras. It's top quality. They're built like a Rolls Royce. You know, it's craftsmanship. Hasselblad, craftsmanship. They're like Lamborghinis. But you can't have it all, guys. There's no perfect camera. So everything I mentioned about Nikon, that doesn't mean I don't own other manufacturers as well. I don't believe in that you should be, you know, limiting yourself in photography. I prefer one brand, of course I do, because I'm so used to that brand. I love their functionality. I have many lenses. Yes, when I hold a Nikon, it's like second nature to me. That's why I'm making this video. That's why you see me with Nikons. That's why I have most of my gear is Nikon, because it's second nature and I love it. When I hold a Nikon, I automatically know without thinking it's muscle and brain memory. I have Fuji. I use a Fuji X100T and I love that camera. You know, don't limit yourself. There's no such thing as a perfect camera. There are certain applications I use, you know, my friend's Canon for. There's certain applications I love using Leica for the process of photography. I enjoy the process of, you know, setting the dial, taking your time, composing the shot. I believe that you shouldn't limit yourself in one camera manufacturer. If you happen to love the way, you know, Fujifilm does their thing and you want a crop sensor mirrorless camera, sure, buy it. And you're a Canon shooter and you have like 10 or 15 Canon lenses, doesn't mean you can't go out and buy an X-T3. And lastly, before I close this video out, the grass is not greener on the other side. You might think it is, and damn it, your Nikon doesn't have this feature. You know, Canon just came out with, you know, 8K video at 120 frames per second or whatever. Sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. I learned a big lesson some years back, and I borrowed a friend's Canon, and he had that 85-1.2, amazing portrait lens, and I just fell in love. I fell in love with the skin tones, the background blur, you name it. That lens is a gem. I'd buy a Canon system just for that lens, that 85L. The Canon FDs are nice too. If you guys have any experience with those old L FD lenses, the 85-1.2, amazing glass. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I borrowed a friend's Canon, I fell in love with it, and I dumped all my Nikon gear. You know, I thought the grass was greener on that side of the fence. And with the money that I collected selling all my old Nikon stuff, I bought Canon. You know, I bought 2 bodies, a bunch of lenses. I lost a lot of money in that transaction, you know. Invested in Nikon, switched to Canon, and lost a lot of money. And I quickly realized that the grass is not greener. The grass is not greener on the other side. It's the same grass, just depends on how you play on that field. So yeah, Grass is not greener, guys. I learned a big lesson, lost a lot of money switching over. Never again. My advice to you guys, stick to one camera manufacturer. And if you want to dabble with the second, go ahead. But don't just get rid of all your stuff and just move on to a new camera manufacturer. A lot of photographers do that. And that's okay. I'm not saying that's not okay. But for me, I won't do that again. You lose a lot of money, guys. You lose a lot of money. You invested so much money in this equipment, you have to sell it for about 75 to 80% of the price. And on top of that, you got to pay taxes on the new stuff, the taxes that you paid for the old stuff. Is it really worth it? I mean, there are exceptions to the rule, right, guys? If you're doing video, for example, let's say you have a Nikon D4, right? That camera doesn't do video, that doesn't do 4K, right? But Canon came out, 1DX Mark III, amazing 4K video. If you're doing video, yeah, that's okay to switch. And you're not that much invested in glass yet. It's okay to go ahead and switch. There are exceptions to the rule. But if there's a little seldom features that come out that are better than your camera, and it happens to be on the other side of the fence, think to yourself, does that improve the images that you take? At the end of the day, the final product that you give to clients, how much better is that product because you switched over? And never again, guys. I'm never switching like that again. If I want a new camera, I'll buy a new camera. If I want a Canon, I'll just buy it, a couple of lenses. But I probably, as of now, will not get rid of my primary use of Nikon for my primary work. So in a nutshell, if you're happy with Nikon, stick with Nikon. If you've invested a lot of money in lenses, stick with that manufacturer. If you love Canon, amazing. They make amazing cameras. Sony, Fuji, Leica, you name it. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's this video, guys. Alright guys, those are my 10 reasons why I use Nikon today for my professional photography. If you like content like this and you want more, please like and subscribe to Vahography. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload new videos. Again, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photography. And we'll see you on the next one. Rock and roll.